Okay. Hey folks, let's just see here real quick. Make sure everything is working, because that is generally the hardest part of this whole ordeal. Is making sure that it's all actually functioning. And if it is, then cool. It looks like it is. Yeah. Cool. Cool beans. Okay, so today we are going to be working through the dialogue system that we need to make so that for this game and for future games, we can... let's get that in there a little bit. We can have things talk to you, you know? Although to be text-based, I don't know how much we would actually do with... what would you say? Voice acting? Yeah. Alright. So... it's not a terrible song, but let's get something a little more... Ooh. Sure. Okay, so what I was working on, we need to change a little bit already. And before I do that, I should probably grab something. It's always good to be prepared, you know? Or in my case, not be prepared. Whichever works. Okay. But basically, a few things that we'll have to immediately do is I'm going to be moving the object itself to a separate canvas. Make sure that's not shown on there. It's not. Otherwise, I'd be doxing myself a little bit. Okay, so now we got that. Put that right here. That's fine. I don't need to see my face. Okay. So let's do so. First, we're going to... we have it right here. It's the message frame. We're going to actually move that to its own canvas. Okay. Move that there. That should be good. And then if we toggle that off, we see that it's all connected correctly. And in fact, we're going to actually go in and... let's see. If we turn that off, that's all of that. That'll be fine for now. We can turn that off because we don't need it on for now. And we can actually go into the game screen and just tell it to turn it on when it starts running. Yes. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. And while we're at it, apparently we already have a base class that we can use for turning on and off the thing. Only thing we need to do there is set the body, which we will once it compiles. Oh my goodness, it's taking its sweet time to compile, I'll tell you that. Give it a moment, I suppose. There we go. Alright, so we have on... oh, did we not pull the whole thing? Oh, right, here it is. Okay, so we need to actually create a body, which is just a transform that is centered. We want to have it fill the full scale of the canvas itself, which we... or the full frame of this. That's that. We don't have... so we could actually... how do we want to do that? This is just the canvas. And then we've got... message frame, game screen. Thinking for a moment here. Because currently we have part of the art on the parent layer, and I actually don't like that, so move that up. Move this to here. Now that's that. Alright. Probably still not ideal, actually, because we want to be able to disable this stuff. So let's attach everything to the body. And again, we'll create, let's say, image, go in here, copy component, paste as values, make it fill the whole kit and caboodle, move it to the top so that it's behind things, remove that layer. That's better. Now, the messaging frame can reference the body, and then when it needs to set it visible, it'll toggle the body on and off, which is what we want. And what I'm going to do for the name frame is we can stretch this over so it's a little bit easier to read. I'm going to, instead of moving it between two positions, I'm just going to have two instances of the name frame section. And then when it's a character talking on the right side of the screen, we'll disable the left one, enable the right one, and vice versa. It's easier to work with once this gets prefabbed out than numerical values, because you can eyeball it, which is nice. So, it's a catchy jingle. What's that from? Not sure. I don't recognize the box art. Or the name. Okay, so now we got our right. Can anchor over here. Negative. And that should make them functionally identical other than being left and right. So then we'll go into the messaging frame. Rect transform left name. Is that? That sounds like Cyberpunk almost. Oh, it is. All right. Fair enough. Let's see. Can I turn off skin setting? There we go. I quite like this song, so I wanted to rate it. So do we want to do it as... Thinking for a moment here. So what we might do... What is that called again? Screen controller, and that's just got a body on it. Not super useful. Basically, I'm going to... I suppose we can grab the parent. Yeah, that works. So what we can do here is... That'll be fine. All right, so we got message text is here, left and right. And then what we now have our data structure, which probably, whoops. Negative 325. Don't think that would work with scaling, but yeah. Okay. So we'll need to fix that later, but that's actually not going to stop anything for the development side of things. Okay. Alright, what do we need to do? Well, we need to get access to the actual text. So, for instance, we'll do this. Go in here, add this message. So now we've got that. So now we need access to the cluster itself. Oh, we also need to update message. Because eventually it's going to have a... let's call it speaker art, I suppose. Oh, let's update this actually. Public class speaker. Public sprite art. What's this from? Oh, let's definitely pause that because that is not someone we want to mess with, which is Disney. They are terrifying. Let me zip up both those things real quick. We'll move on to the next song. Ah, there we go. Safer. Wario Land. Alright. So those are compressed, and we're back in the safe zone. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Do that. Serialize this. Get rid of that. And we can actually get rid of this by doing this. There we go. So we'll get rid of this, and we don't need this anymore. And we can do the same thing here. There we go. I think that'll be pretty good. So then we'll come back over here. Oh, I only see text. Oh. You gotta do that or else you won't see it in Inspector. Yeah, this is catchy. I like it. Okay, and then we can probably... that. Oh, let's see here. Hide label. Removing sorts. There we go. Now in Unity, we should see this topper go away and it'll just say art name text. Maybe. It's recompiling. There we go. Much cleaner. And for testing, we will include an image. We've got our message. So currently we do messages in clusters, and then each message is its own body with art, because maybe the art will change, like maybe they'll go from like to or something like that. So we want to be able to switch it in, as the text moves along. Also, we need to know if it's left or right. So we will say, probably do it as an enum, I think. That. Public, side. No. You don't need to do this, I just like doing it. Actually, you can make this null as well. Like, it literally is pointless, but... not even old habits, actually. It's a relatively new one that I picked up because I got badly hurt by JavaScript, and it's pure evil. Alright, now we've got this left-right drop-down, which is really convenient. Sorry, it's under the watermark, but such is life. And, like I said, now we've got this cluster. In the cluster, we can do reading the next message. For the sake of testing... Okay, so the message frame has all of the pieces. Now we need the input. Is it this guy? I forget. No. Let's go over to something that uses it, and then we'll remind ourselves. Just call player input. Okay. So we're going to put a player input on this because we need to have access to certain things. Player controls. Any is fine. And spacebar, I think, is what we're actually going to be using for this. Dialogue. It is how that's spelled, right? It is. Okay, cool. I'm never more skeptical of my spelling than when I'm doing video work. All right. So we will next message or skip or something. We can change its name later. That's gonna be a button. It's gonna be a press. It's actually a. Let's see here. Did I get the wrong thing? Oh no, we're good. We're good. Button, press only, and then down here, we'll listen. Hit the space bar. There we go. That'll be for keyboard and mouse. For controller, it'll probably be A or something like that, or maybe a shoulder button, something along those lines. Don't know if we need to still set it as pret. Oh, okay. So I bet it's been warning me about that in multiple places here. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. Because if it's already a button, apparently we're good. And we'll keep that. And this one we were doing multiple things, even though it doesn't really work. I have to go back through and fix it up. It's kind of frustrating. Oh, I bounce a lot. Benefits of having your camera attached to the desk itself. Okay. And just a bunch of relatively flimsy things. Well, whatever. Okay. So now we've got our space. We'll hit save. Now, over here, we should be able to go into dialogue and... Wait, is this the right thing? This is not the right thing. I don't think. Oh, yeah. It's under events. There we go. Okay, it's been so long since I've attached one that I totally forgot. So dialogue, next message. Okay. And then this will do if message cluster. You know what? Let's let it possibly null out so that we can debug that as we move along. And get next gets us our next message. If message. Because if there is no message, rather if message equals null, then we know we've hit the end of our dialogue and we can send off an event that says like this is all finished or something along those lines. So what we'll probably end up doing with the message clusters is we'll actually include them all in a class I'm probably going to call book for lack of a better name. And what that's going to do is it'll set what the current cluster is. And then this can just read from the book and see this is the current cluster and go through it. Oh, okay. So we probably won't even need this. Oh, you can't even see it. We probably won't even need this or the on new text. We'll see. So next message is now saved. We'll go in here and waiting for it. All right. Player input. Wait, wrong thing. Message frame. Okay. And then what we can do is speaker left text mesh dot set active. Wait. Transform dot parent dot set active. Oh my god, this is getting messy. That's okay. We'll let it ride. This is what it looks like right now. Whew. Message dot speaker dot side all right. That is technically as short as it can get, so let's do this. Only just so that it's shorter. Yeah, that'll be better. And you know what? Don't tell anyone. We're actually going to just change the text on both of them too. It'll be our little secret. Let's see if I can make this a bit wider. Get rid of this side, because you don't care about that. You want the good stuff, yeah. There we go. I'll eventually have a better setup. So yeah. Again, kind of messy, but you make it work first and you go through and optimize later. If you try to optimize the whole time you're working on a project, you'll never finish it. Never. Keep forgetting you're up there. My face is down here, but you're up there. Okay. So that takes care of that. And then we will And that takes care of the message itself. This takes care of the name. And then we actually technically don't have a sprite at the moment. So let's find something. Gonna see if I have a good image for our stand-in for now. Kinda want to use that, but we can't use that. Let's see. Cloud, nope. Storage. I have a bunch of pictures from my phone. Maybe? That might be it. She is sort of the inspiration for this, so... There we go. We probably should make it a bit thinner. I know you can't see it yet, but... There we go. And we need to save it in the project. Otherwise, it's going to make this way harder. Assets, projects. We are currently working in universal content, dialogue system, tutorial, and tutorial avatar. I do like my new structure for my files. It was so much easier to find where to put that, which is not always the case, I'll tell you that. Okay, so let's go back over to the scene, and we need to add in... What is this? That's the message frame, so we can actually put the message text in the message frame. And then create image. Let's see, -700. Wow, wow, that's a big cat. Let's shrink her down a little bit here. What is it, Alt? No, Shift? There we go, Shift is what I needed. We'll put her, say, thereabouts. Oh, does it not naturally flip? Guess we'll see here in a moment. Guess we can flip it up here. It's not a big deal, but... That would be 180? Yep. There we go. That's left avatar. Move it up here so it's behind everything. And I guess technically it would probably actually... Let's reset it again. We actually basically want it to... Because if you imagine, once we have speakers, they're going to be basically... Not this wide, but position-wise. Let's get in there. Oh. -510? Ah, there we go. And then we would duplicate this. Right avatar. Move it up. It's a catchy song. Very relaxing. And this actually, we should do it this way. And then we'll duplicate that. right. What was the number? Negative 10? 10? Yeah, look at that. That's how you do this stuff quick. Boop. One sec here. Okay, so we can now do the same thing we did before, where we'll go in and we'll have private private image, and we need to go up and add Unity engine.ui to our top up here. Speaker left art, speaker right art. I'm gonna be too slow. I was gonna give that song a rating. Oh, this is a game I haven't even played yet. And similar to what we did down here, and again, kind of messy, but you know, you do what you got. Okay. And similarly, sprite equals. Well, and this actually won't always be true because you may sometimes have, so we're not going to do this. You may have two different people on the screen at the same time. So we'll actually have to consider that in the future, whether or not we actually want to turn off one art when the other one's up. Something to keep in mind. So I guess we'll add like an is leaving or something when the message completes. I don't know. So let's just do this real quick. There we go. Oh, here's a game I haven't played in ages. Used to actually like the Call of Duty games for their stories, long time ago. Back before some of you were even alive, it feels like. But I just feel like they gave up. They realized all the money was in the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was cheap to make, so that's where the business goes, you know? Now, something that has to be done here is you would, again, this is temporary until I do something better later, you would disable all these things first. And the canvas won't update until the, I believe it's the end of the frame. So you can turn off and turn on these things, and ultimately it'll be the final state that is determined. It's not like it'll turn it off and back on visually rendering wise on the canvas. And again, this is actually probably always going to be true. So we'll just do that. And then that'll always be true. Okay, so what do we have left? We've got the art updating. We've got the parent meshes updating. And the text updating. So we'll go into our tutorial message and change the image to be our good old kitty cat. And then for the two avatars, we'll set them to none. Granny's World Tour? What the heck? What game is that? Oh, Rayman. Okay. Sure. I'll give it an okay. And we can just turn those off as well, because that's too bright for my liking. And those should get enabled. Oh, I see. I'm doing the game object right now, so let's actually do it this way. And then down here... There we go. That'll work fine. Hey, I know this one. I just noticed something. I apparently dragged myself off screen earlier. Let's lock that. Okay, so let's make our book. I'm waiting for it to compile. Yeah, see, it's like, the reason I want it mirrored is so that I can easily point at things, but then my microphone ends up covering up stuff. Whatever, you know? It's fine. So that's all good. So, yes, dialogue system, create class. Because what is a book if not a bunch of clusters of messages? When in doubt, copy and paste. And then, do we want message clusters to have a identifying enum? I think so. Sure, that works. There we go. And then we need to serialize that. My rationale for this is it'll be easier to find these things in the list. And I know you could use dictionaries, but I want to be able to actually see the stuff in the inspector. So, you work, work within your limitations, you know? That's a good one. So here's our book. And that book is comprised of clusters. And those clusters are comprised of messages. Brr. And drag that in there. And that'll be our tutorial. And we've got, I probably could just set this one as public because we are going to want to be able to set and get on it regularly, I suppose. And I'll just change it later if I find I'm trolling myself. And then we need to be able to set it. And the way that would be done, obviously, would be, doesn't actually need to be event driven, it can be a direct reference. Public void set cluster. And we want to do well, let's call it type, I guess. And so what we would do is current cluster equals message clusters dot find cluster where cluster dot type equals type. And if cluster type, or if current cluster equals null, yeah, there we go. Yeah. I actually am going to make this private. Oh, I just can't not do it most of the time. There we go. You could just, so you could also write this like this. The thing is, you can't see this in the inspector. So a lot of my design schema is so that you can actually still see it in the inspector. If they ever fix that, well, I say fix, but realistically, it's supposed to work the way they're treating it. Classy. That all looks good. And so when a cluster is set, what we would want to do is we would want to fire off a game event, right? Not sure which looks better to me. Sure. Whatever. So what happens here is if it's not null, then we'll raise the event, which currently will throw an error because we don't have one, but it'll fire the event. The message frame will receive that event, turn on, show whatever it needs to show, and then as you hit spacebar, it'll move through it. So And then the frame itself could probably send out an event each time it goes to the next frame in case there's something else that is synced up with it. You know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not actually too concerned. Hey, nice. Let's see here. Move this to the top. Don't need this. And then private book. Well, that was really... Wow, really? I thought that said it was like 3 minutes long. Guess not. So... we can get rid of this. Do that. Is that all we need? Maybe? I actually don't like that. Let's do this. Do like that. It's effectively the same thing, but it gives me more granularity for later. Waiting on it to compile. Close some windows while I do so. It's amazing how many browser tabs can end up open on one computer. Cool. Okay. So now that I'm pretty sure it's compiled by now, grab the book, put the book on there. We're just noticing we don't have the art assigned yet. Perfect. And then on the actual event, we will add that. What did we call it? I like to make them match. Message cluster set. I realized the word on wasn't in the file itself, but whatever. Okay, and this is just for debugging. That was an intense song. This song has no chill. Okay. It's all set. And then we are setting that. Alright. And we can go in here and actually turn this off. Body, set visible. Okay. I think that will do it. So we can actually fake this a little bit without even hooking it up further quite yet. Once it compiles. That was a fine song, but we'll move on. People love their rock music in video games. Alright, so we'll hit play, as you can see. Oh, what do we got going on here? Oh, yeah, I did get rid of that, didn't I? Doesn't even do anything right now, so... Eventually we'll have buildings that can generate... resources. Okay. Try that again. Perfect, okay. And then we will go into the book. We'll actually set that cluster as the current cluster. And then we will load it. Hey! And then in the messaging... Alright, and then... Ass. So we got our image, and then we hit space again. Oh, we do get an error. Let's figure out why. Sure enough, we don't have a wallet currently. Is it used anywhere else? Not currently, so we'll just comment that out. And then... callback. Ah, index is out of range. Get next. If index is greater than count minus 1. Oopsie poopsie. This song's called Clowns Are Scary. So true. Well, sometimes. They're not always scary. Sometimes they're just like embarrassing or whatever. But I suppose if they had a violin, they'd be terrifying. Okay, as you can see, the dock is all janked up because of... Oh, interesting. I'm surprised that the game screen didn't turn on. Set body visibility. Oh, on start game pressed. Okay, we're fine. Right. So we go over to the book. Hit that there event. Oh, is the index... where are we? This might be already set. Gotta enable debugging so we can find out. Because this is firing. Yes. I like that the bugs happen when the horror music's playing. Now we're compiling, as you can see, because the ocean has stopped moving. And I guess you can sort of make it out on my mouse. That song took a change that I was not expecting. Payday 2, huh? Okay. Alright, so... We will stop and restart. And we raise it. Index count is 1. And of course it would already be 1. It's not going to work, so we need to actually initialize it. Because we're in the inspector, so these values stick. There we go. That should fix it. What I did, since again we're off screen. Okay, let's see here. That's all connected. Okay, so far so good. On cluster load, which is by this. Okay, so that is happening. That is null. Current cluster. Why is that skipping over? That's interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. And this makes sense. And then there's only one thing listening. Right. Okay, I've got an idea. The init's not actually happening right now. Should be fine. Okay. Close and reopen. We'll set it to tutorial, which it already is. Invoke. That's good. That's also good. And I can see on my stream that it is indeed working. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. And if we call it again, Or actually, what do we... Oh, spacebar. Eh? And we go back. Invoke. Eh? And now, let's test that out, right? Go into the cluster. Back to the book. And then hit spacebar. Oh, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I was very optimistic about that. Let's see. Does this value update properly? Two. And next time we do it. Ah, okay. I did my math wrong. Well, conveniently, we don't have to fix this because it'll stay. If index is... if index equals this, then return no. Because that would mean that it is... Is that right? Yeah, I guess we'll see. Because 0 is fine, 1 is fine, 2 would be bad in a array of two things. Got it. I think that's right. Okay. Trigger it up. Ah! Why did you not work? So first it's 0, then it's 1. Oh, let's find out. 0 does not equal 2. 1 does not equal 2. Oh, why is it happening twice? Oh. Oh. Yes, I know what's going on. Okay. We did on the actual frame, so what's happening here is on this event, this actually fires twice. Once for when you first press, and once for the hold state, sorta. So let's see if we can fix that. Press only. No, that won't. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into our input controller, steal a bit of code from here, go back to our message frame, and we're going to say if value.performed. This sounds good. It's not Disney, right? Monster Hunter, good. Don't kill me, Mickey. And then we'll... Does it say spawn? Okay, do that. Go back into the code, or into the scene. wait for it to compile. Think for a moment. Right. I know where we are. On next. Save. Now let's try it. Hello, world. Hey, I'm on the right. And then obviously I would need to hide a Visual Studio. So, hey. Whoop. Go into the cluster. Could have actually done this while I was running, but... Hello, world. I'm now on the right. Looking good. Why, thank you. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I will think that through a bit more. And see what features might be missing. Because maybe it's possible that a message will consist of multiple text bodies and you can sort of iterate through them before you move on to the next thing. I don't know. And then maybe on the last one, once it's over... Nah, that doesn't make any sense because if you were having to... I don't know. I'll think about it. But that's, you know, that's a solid hour of development with actual progress. So I think we'll leave it there. I'll edit the other video I have too and get all those uploading and then maybe do a stream a little bit later for some game. I don't know what. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stream held up mostly pretty well, and that's good. About the only thing that's funky right now is this dock should be pointing this way. But I think that was because of the crash we did earlier with the text. Anyways, have a nice day.